The biggest rocket ever built, just launched. Again. It tore through the sky with the fire of a small sun, and it literally shook the ground. And you probably didn't hear a thing about it, did you? Because what really happened on this flight, it wasn't just about the launch. It's the story the mainstream headlines just completely missed. A story that marks the end of an entire era and the explosive start of a new one. A statement that humanity is officially on a brand new path. Okay, let's get into this, because what SpaceX just pulled off, it is going to change everything you think you know about our future in space. So, to really get what this statement is all about, you've got to understand the sheer, raw power we're talking about here. This was not some gentle liftoff. No, this was a controlled explosion pointed straight at the heavens. 16 million pounds of thrust. That number, it's almost impossible to even wrap your head around. It is more than double the power of the Saturn V rocket, the one that took us to the moon. This is, without a doubt, the most powerful vehicle humanity has ever created. Period. And get this, 33. That's how many of these super advanced Raptor engines had to fire in perfect unison. I mean, think about that. It's like trying to conduct an orchestra of explosions. If just one engine is out of sync, just one tiny miscalculation, the whole thing becomes a billion-dollar firework. But they did it. Flawlessly. And the results? Well, they speak for themselves. We're talking a perfect launch, a clean separation. The ship coasted halfway around the entire planet, survived a brutal white-hot re-entry through the atmosphere, and then, and this is the crazy part, it achieved a flawless, controlled splashdown right on target. So what does all this mean? It's simple, really. They proved it. The world's biggest rocket is now officially reliable and reusable. But here's the thing. This incredible success, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It wasn't built from a perfect blueprint. It was forged in failure. Years of spectacular, fiery, and honestly, beautiful failures. People saw those early explosions and they called it a failure. They left. But SpaceX wasn't just building rockets. They were building knowledge. Every single fireball was a lesson. Every piece of twisted metal was another data point. They went from these massive explosions to gathering critical data to getting so close you could taste it, until finally, this flight, the breakthrough. And this gets to the very core of their philosophy. They don't fear failure. They actually weaponize it. Every explosion taught them something new. Every failure became fuel for the next attempt. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? In a world that punishes mistakes, SpaceX built an entire empire by running straight towards them. They proved that sometimes the only way to actually reach the stars is by blowing a few things up along the way. But here is the secret that makes this 11th flight truly historic. The real reason it's so important isn't just what it did, but what it represents. This flight was a final goodbye. That's right, that incredible machine you just saw fly, it was the last of its kind. This was the final test flight for Starship version 2. Its entire job was just to prove the concept could work. And boy, did it ever. So this is the pivot point. Version 2 was like the final exam. It answered the question, can we actually do this? And the answer was a resounding yes. Version 3, which is already being built as we speak, is the answer to, okay, now let's go do it. It's being built for orbit, for people, for the moon, and yeah, ultimately for Mars. So this flight wasn't the end of the story. It was the bridge to the real one. Because we have to remember, this was never, ever just about building a bigger rocket. It was always about something so much bigger. A mission that goes way beyond engineering and touches on the very survival of our species. This is Elon Musk's core vision. It's the reason for all the risk, all the explosions, all the money. It's a backup plan for humanity. It's the belief that for the human story to keep going, it has to expand beyond just one planet. And Starship is the vehicle that's going to write that next chapter. And there is a crystal clear plan. Step 1, prove reusability. Check, done. Next up, they're going to test refueling the ship in orbit, which is absolutely the key to any kind of deep space travel. Then it's on to the moon. In fact, NASA has already picked Starship to land the next American astronauts there for the Artemis program. And every single one of these steps is just a rehearsal for the main event, Mars. That is what you are witnessing right now. Think about it. When the Wright brothers first flew, people saw this fragile little plane hop a few hundred feet. They didn't see the global network of air travel that would connect the entire planet. Right now, we see a big rocket splashing down in the ocean. What we're not yet seeing is the interplanetary civilization it's about to build. And that's the bottom line here. The dreams of science fiction, they are being built with steel and fire right now in South Texas. This is not a movie. It is not a fantasy. This is the real, tangible beginning of our future as a spacefaring species. And here is the quiet revolution that makes all of this possible. By making Starship fully and rapidly reusable, SpaceX is on track to drop the cost of launching anything to orbit by over 90%. That doesn't just open up space for NASA, it opens it up for everyone. For science, for new industries, for you. It completely changes the economic equation of leaving planet Earth. And that's the beautiful irony in all this, isn't it? While most of us are distracted by the noise, the endless scroll of the daily news cycle, there's a small team of engineers out there in the Texas sun, quietly building stairways to other worlds. They are rewriting the future of our species, one launched at a time. Because in the end, this story was never really about rockets at all. It's about ambition. It's about resilience. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we decide that failure isn't an obstacle, but it's the path itself. It's a question we're asking the universe. Just how far can we go? And the answer, it seems, is farther than we ever dreamed. If this explainer helped you see that future a little more clearly, then do me a huge favor and subscribe. Here at HowToMatic, we believe learning should always feel like an adventure, and that curiosity is the only engine you really need. Thanks for watching.